Hi everybody, I'm back and I am being prompted to talk about the bit that Mrs. Cookie, I've been pronouncing her name Coochie, which is obviously wrong. Mrs. Cookie mentioned that there is female energies around Johnny Depp's soulmate. And also, I'm not gonna spell it out too much, but she also did a reading on another soulmate who was in fact basically screaming for a reading in my head, and then she replied, which was interesting, very synchronous. Yeah, so the female energies that I've been battling, they yeah, he's throwing a tantrum. Like, yeah, he's throwing a tantrum in a very typical humorous way of him, and just saying he hates being pushed into the background currently, but understands why we do it, and doesn't actually want to speak. He's just hating it for the sake of hating it. Now he feels better. Okay. But my female, okay, I use different classification for soulmates than most people because I have a lot, and I started out as a twin flame teacher when I found my first twin flame, and then I realized that either the twin flame theory is wrong and there can be multiple, or we're not twin flames at all, and that didn't sound like that was the case. So I started not knowing really what I was doing because I was very much starting out. As I decided to start naming them myself, as in what I'm experiencing and what they sort of, rather, I sort of divorced myself from the whole twin flame crowd and so forth, so that I can actually freely name what I'm experiencing. So what normally would be called a twin flame can be 3 different types of connections, as far as I've identified, as in there is the Platonic twin flame, as in very non-sexual, very family oriented, very like your best soulmate, like your best closest person who is nearly like a sibling, like a chosen sibling, but it's purely platonic and you don't want it to be anything else. And as I am also turned into a polygamist or polyamorist, you would never be sexual with the same person. So that's also a requirement on this type, and I call it the precious soulmate. Then I've got I keep changing the name for this because it is actually a very profound connection, but it is based basically on commitment. So I call them committed life partners, which means that they agree basically on one single thing. And they can be very intense, they can be very together, they can be very connected, but only for one lifetime at a time. And I call them committed life partners. And the reason why they cannot be connected more than one lifetime at a time is because they will bond with whomever happens to be around. And if they true emotion mirror, or if they previous life committed life partner is not there at the moment, they will find somebody else. And that's how it works for them. But it is very much more than capable of creating a very deep connection to someone they just met in a cosmic sense. And that's very different to a true emotion mirror, which is, to me, the most interesting of the twin flame types that people talk about when they talk about a twin flame. I call them true emotion mirrors. They are not a monogamous they can be monogamous, but they are not necessarily monogamous, which is the main difference between twin flame and a true emotion mirror theory, is that the connection doesn't start from being split soul from the same soul. Like, I do believe that souls can split. I think I mentioned in another video. I think that they can split, but they will create an somewhat identical with variations person to live another life, like a different circumstance. Like, they want to experience several things at the same time in the same timeline, basically. I call them simultaneous incarnations or dream catchers, as in when you don't have time for a certain life plan and you're like looking over your shoulder, like, I wish I could do that, but I have more important things to do. Then a part of your soul is going to be reborn in another body, into another lifetime, and they are going to live the life that you don't have time for. And I don't think they ever step in on each other's toes. So if your instance decides that this is more important, that is where you're going to go, and they are going to go that way. And I do believe that if they want to experience romance, then your true emotion mirrors also get another instance of them in that. And in terms of polygamy, I believe that even if you have this polygamous way of living, it is possible that you have another instance that lives, or if you're the hinge, you have several other incarnations that will go on to live a monogamous instance of, with all your different pairs, or in a smaller group, which is also possible. But that's very much beyond the scope. So I also have karmic, what most people would call karmic soulmates. I call them antagonist mirrors, and false precious soulmates, possibly. And in this case, we are very much in disagreement as to what to name the connection. Like, we see it from two very different perspectives. And they do believe that they are my true emotion mirrors, as in I should share my partners with them. My guys don't like them that much. Like Johnny is very cordial towards people. So he is very sympathetic towards them both, actually. And he's trying to mediate things. But what the women want is one thing, and what we want is another. And we can't really, like, only the woman who I've decided to call Smigolette, she is expects a romantic sharing type of situation. And the other, who I don't have a name yet, but she's a family member, so she just wants a deep friendship, basically, with me in this lifetime. And I can't see how that would work, considering, like, she wants me to put family first, and I'm just not that kind of person who puts family first. It's just not going to happen. So our value systems are entirely different. So she is what I call a dog thinker. Sorry, a bird thinker. I just swapped them around in a very confusing way. A bird thinker, which is all about family. Well, she's somewhat in between. It's like she keeps going back and forth, like from one way of thinking to the other, but she never goes into the cat thinking, which is all of me and my true emotional mirrors with. Some of them are dog thinking or bird thinking only as an influence from women who think that way, and they would be full cat thinkers if they had the fear, if they felt that they were in the liberty of thinking that way. But so their value is that family first, and then everybody else comes second. And that can only change when they have children with somebody. And because I'm child free, very strongly child free, which is what Mrs. Cookie also pointed out in one reading, where even though in another reading she said that she believes that Johnny's soulmate already has children, but in another she corrected it and said, I don't think she's got children. Aha. That was her reacting. And that's correct. I don't, and I've never wanted to have children, but the coming to fruition or the fertility, I felt that it was about my work, which is I'm sort of finished. I've been writing this theory for 15 years, so my baby is becoming an adult. and yeah, not still not perfect, still a teenager, but starting to look like a real real thing. I don't know. Yeah, so I was suggested a topic or few for this video. The first one in the card said, are you the kind of person who prefers family to romantic relationships, or prefers platonic relationships to romantic ones? And I'm definitely not. I'm not going to talk about that because that's again pressuring me to feel differently about something that I feel very strongly about in another way around. Then I got another card. What did the other one said? It was still about something about romantic preference over platonic connections, and then this third one was still about life choices and going one's own way against the family and so forth. Which I said, well, okay, let's do it then. Let's talk about this difference in opinion, because the way I see it is that you can throw a tantrum and you can insist and you can push your ideas forward. You can do cartwheels. You can no matter what you do, it's not going to change the way somebody else feels about it. You cannot force someone into loving you no matter what you do. You can force them into going through the motions of loving you, but you cannot change the way that they actually feel about you. And I feel like I've done that my whole life. I'm going through the motions of loving somebody and trying to find excitement in normal people, because I'm very much an unknown person. Unlike half of my true emotion mirrors are very freaking famous. And they are the ones who I actually feel in love with. And even my unknown true emotion mirrors, they wouldn't look out of place on red carpet, particularly when they were young. They were all freaking stunners. And and I cannot get excited about someone who is either ugly or stupid. And intelligence is to me the higher value. But so a very smart man can, to me, can look a little bit less of a stunner. But to me, intelligence also comes with the need to sort of express it externally. Like I know what I'm doing, basically. And I think that a person's looks also, like, it it comes from a need to provide for other people, provide an experience to another person. It's a sign of respect, and it's a sign of social awareness to me. And it's just very attractive thing for a person to be aware of how they present and so forth. So yeah, I have never loved an ugly or stupid man, so but I've tried. So, and I feel like this has been because she mentions the Mrs. Cookie mentions, was it Silky, the creature that can be trapped by taking her coat, and then she's trapped in a human form and is forced to marry the man who gives her coat, and she can only get it back by fighting the man and stealing back her coat and going back to her own kind. I don't think this is a man who is holding my skin. It is my friends and family. And and um and I was married before, but we separated very amicably, and we were friends for longer than we were married, and we lived together for longer than we were married without ever crossing the line ever again. Like we we were purely platonic friends, and it worked okay. Like we both had our own thing going, that he was working on something else and I'm working on something else, and we just coexist because it worked, until he found what I believe to be his true emotional mirror, which I wanted him to find first because he was still a little attached to me. So I wanted him to find her, and it did sort of throw what also was like a bit of a curveball as far as our plans goes, because then I had to move to Finland to get out of the way, but which wasn't ideal at the time at all. So now I'm in a very awkward position living with my parents, and I just don't have a good plan. I'm just waiting for things to kick in, and it's very very I feel retarded. Like I feel a retardation happening. Like I feel like I'm a teenager again, and it's not a good feeling. It's not at all a good feeling. Like not the sexy teenage, but the previous, the awkward awkward phase when you can't launch, and, and it's sort of eating up my self confidence when the mirror image doesn't really match the way that I feel currently. It would be nice if I would look in the mirror and see a 14-year-old, but I don't. So that's sort of eating up. She did mention something about appearance, the changing appearance, which has been playing on my mind, as in very much seeing my age. But I'm getting sort of sidetracked from the topic, which tends to happen when I start. So I start somewhere and wind up somewhere completely different. So let's start. There is this last card that I was looking at for going your own way, and you want grandiose things, and they just want me to stay behind, and be a normal person, which I'm just not interested in being. I'm incapable of being. Like, I just can't do it. Like, just can't. The best way to get love is love. Okay, this is my mom saying, because I've told her that I don't believe that she loves me. And the reason why I've told her that is, first of all, the way that a dog thinker or bird thinker shows love to you is very different to the way that a cat thinker shows love and experiences love. And I will I will do them dog thinker and cat thinker from now on, because the bird is somewhat of a variation of a dog thinker, which is specifically geared towards family life. But they are both conformists, and they have a lot of similarities. So calling them dog thinkers from now on is sufficient, which would be basically a conformist and a extrovert, which is and a family oriented, like a group thinker, like a sheep would be maybe a good sheep thinker would be, or pack thinker it would be another way to like call them as a collective. Pack thinker, let's go with that actually. And the cat thinker is very much a independent, and they pick and choose who they will trust and who they will let close to them. And yeah, so a cat thinker is the ones who say that, oh, my wings were clipped and I was oppressed, and they did like they didn't appreciate me for who I was. This is cat thinking complaints. Dog thinking complaints are, they didn't care about me. They didn't watch over me, and no one ever paid any attention to my needs, or no one paid attention to me. Attention to them is very important, whereas it's not nearly as important to a cat thinker. So what a cat thinker wants from a parent is trust. And what that means is that I trust that you do not harm yourself or get yourself in trouble when you go out into the world, and I trust that you are independent, capable, you can handle yourself, basically. To a dog thinker, trust means that I trust you to take care of family members, other family members. I trust you to be an adult in the family and focus on family and take your load of the work and everything else within the family. So the way that we consider trust or adulthood is completely the opposite. So to a dog thinker, being young means that you are running around doing your own thing and collecting self-confidence so that you would be good enough to take care of your family. Whereas to a cat thinker, the only family that they will ever fully focus on is their children. And everyone else can go to fuckery. Like they will take care of their parents once the parents can no longer handle themselves, and only at the last resort. And that's the way that they want to be treated when they are old. They don't want family hanging around. They don't want to be taken care of. So they're the cranky old people who are pissed off when you try and take care of them. And the dog thinker will interpret that as they are cranky because we haven't been taking care of them well enough. So they will redouble their effort to be there more. And the cat thinker is pulling her hair out. Why do you always have to be? So the way I see it, cat thinkers and dog thinkers, or cat thinkers and back thinkers shouldn't be back thinkers, shouldn't be in any connection with each other that they can avoid. They shouldn't be marrying each other. They shouldn't be in a family situation together, but we are currently completely mixed. And largely because the back thinkers will put on a song and dance to get you back into the family fold because they believe wholeheartedly that this is what everyone wants. Everyone wants to be in the family fold, and they don't understand anything of it, any other way of thinking about it. Cat thinkers have the ability to understand people who think differently to them and to believe that they actually mean it when they say it, whereas the dog thinker has very hard time grasping the idea that not everyone wants the same thing. And so they think that everything that you say is sign of a mental illness or self-confidence issues, or you simply don't want to say it out loud, that you believe that people don't care enough to give you what you want, and they cannot truly believe that you would mean it, that you don't want family there all the time, like and but how this relates to my mother, I've closed windows that I needed. um so I told her in spirit at some stage that I don't believe that you love me. Like, I just don't, and it's fine. You don't have to. Like, you can't control your feelings. So I understand why you would find it difficult to love me, because we're so different. And don't worry about it. I don't love you either. It's like, like you just can't help it. Like, you feel the way you feel, and that's it. I don't blame you. You can go anywhere. You can live your life the way you wish to live it, and I'll do the same, and it's fine. Like, we're both adults. We can be like, we can just exist. We don't have to get hung up on this. I don't blame you for it. I don't feel bad about it. I don't suffer for it. I just don't believe that you love me. And I don't love you either. Like, I just can't. We're too different. And like, of course, I understand that she cares about me. I care about her. It's just that you can't really call it love. Like, I don't feel joy when I see her, and I don't think she feels an ounce of joy when she sees me. She just feels dread and dread and horror, really. Because she doesn't understand me, she doesn't know how to control me, she doesn't know how to make me happy, she doesn't know how to fulfill my needs. And I don't understand why she needs to, considering how old I am. So part of this, I believe, is that I was forced to go back home so that I understand that my family loves me, which I do understand still, that they care about me and they feel responsible for me, which to a dog thinker is the same thing as loving me. And they're just not happy with me saying that, okay, these two things are different things, or these three things are different things, because they have different names to them. So there is a difference in what we're talking about. But to a back thinker, to love is very much to take care of somebody. So if you tell a back thinker that you love them, you tell it promising them that you're going to take care of their physical needs, you're going to keep them safe, and you're going to share the load that they are carrying, which to a cat thinker is a very different thing. When a cat thinker tells you that they love you, what they mean is that I feel joy for for your existence. The fact that you are alive makes me happy. And which is why basically only cat thinkers have celebrity idols. Or celebrity, um like, they only cat thinkers have idols, and the only cat thinkers understand what a fan is, I believe. dog thinkers see it all as being a little bit deranged, especially after hitting a certain age. They don't understand what a um, fan is supposed to do with their idol, and and they see it like being stuck in a teenage and self-confidence issues, as in you still keep looking for a role model for yourself because you don't know how to live your either. You still don't know how to live properly, so you looking into these characters who will show you how to be. But that's not at all why cat thinkers are focused on celebrities, is because their way of loving is very um, undemanding, as in I feel joy for your existence the way that you are. It doesn't mean that I need to be like you. It doesn't mean that we need to be in connection with you, with each other. It's just that your existence makes me happy. That's all it really is. And it makes you feel less alone, because a lot of cat thinkers are very intellectual. So they also feel safer when there is someone who thinks like them, or they feel inspired because there's someone who can understand the way that they think. They feel less alone, let's put it that way, when there is someone who is thinking at their level, which to highly intelligent people, the more intelligent you are, the less people understand you. And it is harder for you to find real world people who think at your level, which makes you feel very lonely and isolated and misunderstood a lot. So that's why they tend to look into celebrities and high profile thinkers and philosophers and so forth. There's just sort of a breath of fresh air. And I again keep getting distracted, but such is the way of my brain. Yeah, there was also a card, you need better friends, which is like you need new better friends, which is true. But then I sort of started um, hesitating, because at this point in time, I don't think I will be opening my blog, which is designed to be my collection point. There is another blog that I've got. I don't know if I've actually put it in there, which I can do this with. I just thought of it. I've had it in a dormant state for so long that I haven't really thought about it. But I do need new friends. And they need to be sexually motivated. Like their primary focus in life must be romance rather than family, as in cat thinkers. And I need some sexually frustrated friends. Let's start with that, and I will get back to that topic later on. But the primary real requirement is that they need to be older and still sort of ravenous for something more than family thing that you do, and conforming to expectations of the back thinkers. My friends need to be sexual and romantically targeted, not to me, but someone, particularly female friends. They need to be 100% heterosexual, and more preferably polyandrous, the same as I, which is funny um, because it makes them my direct competitors in love, but and sexual competitors. But that's the way I want it, because that's the way it has to be, because polygynous women will want to make a lover out of me to themselves and to share a guy with them, and this is just not going to happen. polygyny andrists don't understand at all why we can't all be in this loving connection together, and they just will create tension and problems with me. Non-sexual friends, like platonic, completely platonic, like asexual friends, don't understand at all why should we be focused on sex at all or romance at all, and they just want family around. So the problem being with that is that when they focus in life is very different to yours, they are going to start pushing you into a direction where you don't want to go, that will deplete your life energy and make you feel lethargic. What is it? What's that word? Lethargic, and just tired and lack of energy. They just make you. They just drain the life out of you, basically, and which is why you need friends who understand the way that your brain works. That's why even the friends that you don't want to engage in a sexual manner, they also need to be sexually driven, which is not at all people, which is a freaking surprise to people who think like us. And yeah, I have this club forming. It's called I will show you a. Okay, there. This is the website, and yeah, this is where I'm start going to collecting friends for, and it is an application invite only thing. So you will have to somehow raise like a flag yourself, like comment on something, and yeah, we'll go from there. Join. I should actually make some changes so that I can accept like an application from, because I haven't finished this properly. So, but anyway, that's something that is on the works. So I do need better friends, as in better fitting friends. They're not better friends, as in better friend material by any means, but they are better suited friends. Okay, I just got a big thumbs up that this is what needs to be happening, and let the wolf pack meet or whatever. Yeah, okay. I think I got a end, like this was supposed to be end, but they also mentioned that the same rules apply on carnal elite as my love life in general, which is also a cat thinking love life basic rules. I've never been in love with someone who's ugly or stupid. So so carnal elite is for people who are neither ugly or stupid. The problem being that intelligent people often think of themselves as being stupid, and stupid people think of themselves as intelligent. As in, if you have never noticed that you have been wrong about something, then you're guaranteed to be stupid. There is no person who is intelligent, who has missed the point when they missed the instance of them having been wrong. The one thing that an intelligent person knows is when they have made a mistake. And blissfully, a dumb person just breezes through those days and moments when they have been wrong and they haven't noticed it. Everyone else has, like every smart person around us has noticed them making mistakes, but they themselves are completely blissfully unaware. It's called the Dunner-Kruger effect. You can look it up on Wikipedia. They were so incompetent that they believe that washing themselves with lemon juice would make them invisible. And then they robbed a bank thinking that they can't be seen. Because I think where it comes from is the invisible ink. Like when you use a lemon juice as ink and then you burn the lemon juice on a paper, then it becomes visible. But they believe that if they would cover their faces with lemon juice, Turner and Kruger, they could rob a bank without being detected. And and some psychologists got up to that, and they were like, "What the hell is going on? How is that even possible?" And they figured out that they were so stupid, they were so intellectually impaired that they couldn't think that this was a flawed logic sort of thing. So in a similar way, a slightly smarter person will understand that this won't help, so they don't do it. So they don't do stupid things that they recognize as being stupid before they do it. That doesn't stop them from doing stupid things that are stupid or saying stupid things that are stupid. They just don't know it beforehand, and they will be very difficult to convince otherwise because they believe themselves to be very intelligent. So, anyway, so only if you notice when you have been wrong in your life, several instances, multiple times a year, in fact, or month, you have to have noticed yourself to be wrong in order to be like, you have to be able to alter your opinion based on new evidence, for instance, and you will be smart enough for this club. But other than that, if you think that your intelligence is high enough to never change your mind about anything, you know you're dumb as fuck. So we don't want to fuck you. Anyway, on that note, exactly. I almost made through the video without swearing. Anyway, there you go. Talk to you another time. Bye.